All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to Southern Sophisticated Bites. I told you earlier that I would share my spice rub for pork baby back ribs. It can also be used for chicken too, but today the Mac residents wants a little bit of pork in our life. So here I have my ingredients for my sweet and spicy rub. I've just put in a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. You can use light brown sugar or dark brown sugar, just depends on how dark in color you want your rub. Then we're going to have a tablespoon of coarse kosher salt. I just eyeball it, but if you're a measurer, that's fine too. So there's our salt. Also a tablespoon of coarse black pepper. Again, I'm just an eyeballer, so I'll go until I think it's pretty good. But again, this is a tablespoon as well. You want to use fresh ground pepper because grinding up the peppercorns releases that peppery flavor, fresh pepper flavor. Then you're going to have a tablespoon of onion powder. Tablespoon of onion powder. I am measuring this part. A tablespoon of garlic powder. This is going to make about a 1/2 cup, so you'll probably have some left over, depending on what you're seasoning. A 1/2 teaspoon of paprika. It can be regular paprika, but I prefer smoked paprika. It has a little more flavor. It's nice smoky flavor, so it'll be good on your meat. Running low here. You can see that I like my paprika. That's it in that one. Then you're going to have a tablespoon of ground mustard. This will give it a nice little twangy zip, a little bite to it. I think we'll stick that in there so we don't pour out too much. Okay. Alrighty. And then last but not least, we will have a little bit now. Be careful with that cayenne pepper. A 1/2 teaspoon or a little less of cayenne pepper. Pepper. I'm not going to use quite a full teaspoon because my husband has a sensitive mouth. Shh, don't tell him I'm adding a little bit more. We don't want it to be too hot, but we want a little slight kick to it. So after you get all your ingredients in here, you're just going to mix it all together. Let me recap my spices so I don't send them off into the sink. You're just going to stir this up. It stores for about a month in your pantry. And like I said, if you're seasoning ribs, you might have some left over. If you're seasoning a Boston butt pork roast, you might not have any left because those are bigger. If you have ribs, you may have a little bit left over, but if you have some left over, that's fine. You could, like I said, store it in an airtight container. Stores for about a month. And if you don't have any left, you just make some more when you get ready for some. So you get those ingredients all incorporated. I do like to smell my spice mixtures to see if there's anything else I would like to add. And I think that's going to be pretty good on that. Alrighty. So next, over here in the sink, I have baby back ribs that have already been rinsed. I'm just going to rinse them off just a little bit more. It was one long rack, but I did cut it in two. So now what I'm going to do is move my spice mixture to the other side of my counter. Don't need these things. I'm going to lay out some heavy duty aluminum foil. I'm going to tear off 4 sheets because I'm going to double wrap this. So now you're going to massage the meat. This is a very important part. And if any of you have had a massage before, you know you need a little oil, a little something on there. So I'm going to add a little extra virgin olive oil to our rib halves. And we're going to get to rubbing. So you want to make sure you get that olive oil on there. Get all rubbed in. Get that extra that's on our foil already. And then we're going to go for our spice rub. I think I'm going to use all of the spice rub that I did make on this. So I'm going to double dip my hand into the mix. But if I was going to save some of this, I would have already taken some out and put it in an airtight container so I don't cross-contaminate. But I'm going to use all of this today. So you start to rub your spice mixture, rub and pat on your meat. Make sure you get a nice heavy coating. Get it on there. Like I said, this is good on chicken, pork, Boston butt roasts. I have several different rubs, but this one, like I said, is good on chicken or pork. We're going to also season the back part of the rib. Now you've noticed I've turned it meat side down. That's because that's how we're going to wrap it in the foil. You want to cook it meat side down because you can get a little crisp on the meat as it cooks in the oven. These would be really good on the grill. We're not grilling them today. We're going to slow cook them in the oven. So you just want to get that marinade all on there. It will stick to your fingers, but that is quite all right. It's a bit messy, but I'll be worth it in the end. Flip that back over. Rub this one up here. Nice and coated. Look at that. That's going to be some good eating later. I told my husband this morning, I asked him, I said, what do you want for dinner? He said, I don't know. Let me think about it. I said, well, I've got some ribs in the freezer. He said, shoot, yeah. So, that's how we decided to have ribs for dinner today. Okay, so let me rinse my hands off really quickly. I'm going to wrap this meat up. Alright, so you might want to stretch this out just a little bit where they're just overlapping slightly. Like that. And I'm going to wrap it up like a nice present. Nice and tight. Roll our ends up. Like that. There's our first one. I'm going to do the same thing to the other one. Remember, meat side facing the foil, so you can get like a little crisp on that meat. Okay, so we're going to let this sit. Can marinate for however long you want to. I'm going to let it sit in my refrigerator for a bit, letting those flavors marry into that meat. When we come back from running our errands, my husband and I'm going to put these in the oven at 275 for probably about 2.5 to 3 hours. Then I'll unwrap them, baste them with a little barbecue sauce, and we'll be good to go. So thanks for tuning in for my sweet and spicy rub. I look forward to seeing you later as I put these in the oven. Thanks for tuning in.